So I don't see the justification for saying that free will is a properly basic belief, because as I understand it, a properly basic belief must be justified. How do you justify that?
It's not. That's not the case. That's why it's called basic. Like your belief in the external world isn't justified. It's just basic. It's properly so.
No, as I understand it, Plantinga says that in order for something to be a properly basic belief, it must be one, justified, and two, it's has to be not derived from an inference from a more basic propositional belief.
So how would it be justified then if it wasn't referenced from some inference?
It
Well,
could
if
be
I
seen as fundamental to the universe.
well, no, if I'm walking by, say, a classroom, and I'm walking by and I see an apple on the teacher's desk, that might be a just I have a justified belief that there's an apple on the teacher's desk, even though I haven't really examined it.
I'm not sure why that would be justified, let alone belief in the entire external world or logic, mathematics,
Well, it's
these other
justified in that I experienced the apple.
Okay, but I experience free will, so it's parallel.
What about in the case
I'm
of
skeptical.
sympathy?
I'm skeptical. Go ahead.
What
Go
in the
ahead,
case of
Agnes.
sympathy? Is sympathy necessary?
I don't
Is
think we
sympathy
understand.
basic to morality?
I think so, but I don't think we understand much at all about the human mind and psyche and stuff, or anywhere near understanding these things. So these kind of pat arguments against libertarian free will, I don't think work. Because
Yes,
we
but
just
we
don't get
still
it.
gain sympathetic understanding. Like Schopenhauer talked about this.
Yeah, I think almost all of us have had situations where we're divided on an issue and we make a decision freely, but we don't feel forced one way or another. So we experience free will, free decision, and it may
Yeah,
be a mystery. We may never understand it. We experience it, and I think that overrides any of these clever arguments against it.
well, I don't really think that it is. I don't really think that it meets Plantinga's criteria.
Maybe it doesn't, but it meets mine.
I
I
don't
think
think you
this.
can just go around claiming things are properly basic.
You could say
Well, I
there's
think it's
will and
I think
struggle.
it's I think it's basic because I think almost everyone believes in free will. Carrying free will,
No,
well,
I don't
that's the
think.
man in the street
A
view.
lot
No,
of
no,
people don't.
no.
It's like common sense man in the street view. I'd say most people hold to the same way they hold to
Well, that would be an
external
appeal to
world.
popularity. That
They
would
can
be an appeal.
calculate before you
No,
raise your arm before you even think about raising your arm.
not that stuff.
They can pinpoint your whole body system if you want to go that route.
That
Anyways, I'm not arguing that.
no, that stuff's all been. I mean, that's you talking about like a microsecond before you make a decision, like say if
A good 10
you do it or not.
seconds.
That stuff. No, it's all that stuff's
No,
all
it's
been
10
debunked as
seconds.
Well,
far
it's
as
10
whether or not it's
seconds.
written
especially
before it
it has
happens.
nothing and it has nothing at all to do with decisions
It's
you're
10
planning out for
seconds. It's
months.
10 seconds. It's a full
But
10
Most
even
of
if
our most of our important life decisions are months away and weeks away. It's just irrelevant to any
No,
of
but
this.
back to the topic at hand is I object to people just running around declaring things that are properly basic beliefs just on their say so, and I don't think I don't think that you're
So what gave Plantinga a right to do it?
well. He has a consistent philosophy.
So do I.
well, could I ask?
Whenever you
Could
I'm
I,
argue,
skeptical. I'm
Brenda, whenever you
skeptical.
argue,
You
you're
may be
arguing
skeptical all you want.
could I ask
exactly,
someone
and
a
you're
question?
arguing against people who have individualistic fucking ideas, and you are arguing yourself, and you're just arguing against yourself by making that statement. Whenever you have conflicting ideas with somebody, you're no
People.
different.
No,
So
I don't
Agnes,
think there's anything wrong with talking about things. What's wrong with that?
I think if you polled the population of the globe and asked if they're free in their decisions, 98% of them would say yes. It's a basic belief.
That's argument from popularity. Yeah.
No, it's a
Well,
basicality. It's
that's a
basic. Whether
fundamental.
it's the question
That's a
is whether it's
fallacy.
properly basic. No, it isn't. That's the definition of a basic
well, it
belief.
wouldn't be you wouldn't be asking if they believe it. You'd be asking if they experience it. Like if you ask any person, does it seem like you experience free will, they'll like invariably say yes,
Oh,
even
sure,
though
yeah.
even though if they don't
Well,
believe
and
in it.
that's the same thing with the other basic beliefs like math, logic, the external world, the existence of other minds.
But I wanted to ask, with the thing about how they can like, you know, like scan your brain or whatever and calculate what you're gonna do next. Like it's all like subconscious mind shit. But I would just say that you are also your subconscious. You're not just your conscious mind. You're
Right, but they've done for these are the Libet experiments. They've done more extensive ones, and it's a very narrow,
Yeah, it's 10 seconds. It's a good
extremely
10 seconds.
no, it's not, but it's
Yeah,
extremely narrow.
it's 10 seconds, and they can get memories and dreams.
All right, totally false. But anyway, that's not the Libet experiments.
But again, I don't think there's anything wrong with talking about things, Agnes. I don't see anything wrong with that. And I
Well,
just,
Agnes
I
was just
just,
trying to ask you about that.
I mean,
So
even
just-
sharing ideas, but conflicting ideas creates debate, creates discussion. That's what I was referring to. I wasn't
yeah.
like pinpointing
Well,
just your
Well, it
conversational
sounded to me,
style.
it sounded
as
to me
the-
like you're being critical of raising questions. So I'm sorry if I got
Oh
that
no,
wrong.
absolutely not. But raising questions in itself raises ideas, raises discussion. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Can I ask you
It was,
something, Agnes?
it was just to talk about the conversation.
Agnes, are you Canadian?
But since you took
Are you
offense to it, that actually raises some questions for
Are you
me.
Canadian?
Yeah, I'm Canadian.
I had no idea until I just heard that slide a boot.
What? Somebody said that earlier. I do not have an accent.
Abu.
Hardly,
I
just
didn't say
barely
it, boo.
detectable.
Yeah, you do.
Barely detectable. I
That's the
thought maybe
second time
Minnesota
somebody
even
said
or
that
something.
I
No,
said
I
it,
could
boo.
tell. I
That's
can smell a
fucked up.
Canadian from 10 miles away.
I don't know any
Oh.
Canadians. But Agnes,
I
what do
am
you,
a
can I ask you a
lumberjack.
question?
Sure.
Like, I mean, you've been critical of my worldview to a certain degree tonight. I'm just curious what you believe.
I'm
Overall.
open.
Do you believe we're just a
I
bunch of balls, just round balls stuck together forever?
I'm indifferent. I really
You got to believe something,
I honestly
right?
I
You have
love
a hunch.
no, I love and hate all walks of life, and mainly I like to oppose and create dynamic in a conversation that reveals like the truest parts of
But you-
somebody else.
You're not one of these people
I
who.
don't know if that makes
It
sense.
does, yeah, and I understand you're probably more critical of like organized religion rather than just like people who
I
believe in.
yeah, I do not believe in like those archaic ideologies.
Sure, but I don't think
I
you're
I
not one of
am
you're not one of these
individualistic.
people. You're not one of these people who think the brain is just like a computer made out of particles.
Oh, that's
There's
me.
no soul or anything.
I mean, I wouldn't throw that out the window though.
Are there people who think the brain is made out of bark?
Of what?
I don't think that. I obviously don't think that, but I'm like
No,
I'm not
I mean like the Daniel Dennett position, like that we're just.
Well, Dennett's heavy shit. I didn't know that you read Dennett.
Oh no, that
Dennett is one of the weakest, most mocked philosophers on the stage.
Well,
I'm a
I
Dennett.
don't know about that.
I love Dennett. I'm actually.
I don't know about that either. Right? Like,
I mean, he
if you
literally
really read it,
he's
it's not.
literally said that he had an interaction with Lane Craig where he spoke and then Craig critiqued, and Dennett was literally forced to say he thinks that the universe pulled itself into existence by its bootstraps.
Literally
And then-
forced to say.
Yeah, like he
Um,
had no recourse but to admit that he believes the universe pulled itself out of its bootstraps.
This seems
Well,
all
that's
very
one theory.
informative.
That is one theory.
It's not a
This
theory,
all
it's
seems
an
very
idiocy.
informative
Yeah, it actually
to
is.
me that I can't really get a grasp of what you're actually saying. So we'll
Well,
just
he doesn't
move
even
on.
think there's minds.
Well,
He
that's
thinks-
not
he
really
doesn't
his
even
like.
he doesn't think we have minds.
I don't know
You're
if I
not
would
really
expect.
you're not really steel manning his position.
Even John Searle, John Searle is a atheist and a materialist, but he thinks
Ow,
Dennett's a
fuck.
fool.
It's just very uninformative.
Dennett.
I would,
jargon.
if you're
I
interested,
get what you're saying.
look up John Searle's critique of
Yeah.
Dennett and
Well-
look up.
But I
William
don't
Lane
really care
Craig's.
about his critique.
Yeah, I know.
I know of him, but like, why would I want his critique on Dennett?
I guess because he's also a material. You know, he's not a theist. He's a brain scientist. I think no, he's a philosopher of mind. Philosopher,
Well,
non-theist.
well,
Dennett's
I
not
have
taking. I'm
Hegel
just
and
telling you,
Wittgenstein.
Dennett's
What do
not
you have?
taking. Dennett's not highly regarded, but I don't think you're a Dennetite anyway. You have
Well, do you read Hegel, Wittgenstein, Fichte, Kant, any of those?
talking about the German idealists to a degree. I mean,
They're not ideal. No, I'm not talking about just idealists. And
I think all those are considered German idealists.
not all of them were German idealists. No.
I think that's just the school that they're part of. You know?
What about Whitehead?
I think Feuerbach is the first one who transferred it to materialism before Marx. Yeah.
Well, you said earlier you read Nietzsche. What about Sartre?
No, never read Sartre.
You
Unless
never read Sartre.
I read Camus' novels, but I've never read Sartre. I think after Nietzsche, it gets so crazy on the continent that you give up.
Well, no, you need to go to like Nietzsche, to like Hegel, and then you need to go
Well,
to
Hegel's way
Nicholas
before
Nibi
Nietzsche.
and Future.
Nietzsche comes way after all those people.
Yeah. I
Nietzsche
just
was,
don't think you're in the same realm as I am. I'm
Nietzsche was writing in the 1880s. His mature work. Hegel is like 1800. Well,
Hegel is relevant. I don't think anybody in here understands Hegel.
Kant and Hume are in the 1700s. So like Nietzsche comes at the end. So the fact that I've read Nietzsche, he demolished almost
No,
all.
Nietzsche doesn't come at the end. Nietzsche is relevant all the time.
I'm saying he comes at the end of a progression of philosophy.
I actually just bought a couple of Hegel's books, but I haven't got to them yet.
I know someone I respect who does respect Hegel. I've never taken the time to study and understand all of his terminology and stuff. He had certain concepts like world soul and cunning of reason. God is like this bringing history to fruition. But the person who I learned about Hegel from, not a Hegel, or Hegelian, I should say. Sorry, guys, I have strep throat. So,
Oh, dude, it's
this was
okay.
a
I think I
ordeal.
have COVID.
I thought I had it at first. I was fucking worried.
Do you have a problem with German philosophers?
Not at all. I think I have a higher respect for the German tradition than the English or the English. I like the Italians too. But I don't agree with Kant in general. I think Kant, a lot of his work is in response to Hume, so you had this engagement between the English and the Germans that kind of sidestepped and skipped over the whole scholastic tradition, which is unfortunate because
You know what? You know what'd be a good read for you is like, what is it? Existence and Being by Heidegger.
Heidegger, you think
Heidegger.
it's called not existence of being, it's being and nothingness, right?
No,
No,
it's
that's
Existence and Being. I'm pretty sure. Existence and Being.
Maybe. No, those are the same things. It can't be existence of being.
I'm pretty sure that's the name of the book.
Can't be.
Sure.
Those are the same word in German. I know being and nothingness is probably Sartre, but Heidegger would be like time and I forget what Heidegger was called.
I'm pretty sure it's Existence and Being.
Look it up. It can't be possible.
I don't want to. I'm pretty sure
I'm
I
trying
just
to
know
think
what I'm
of what it
talking
is.
about.
Trying to think of what it is. He had that concept called care.
How about you just look up the book Existence and Being by Heidegger?
Because I'm laying down and talking on the phone. I don't want to look.
Right, you don't believe that that's an actual book.
I don't think it's possible because being and existence mean the same thing. And I would have recognized the term. I just can't think of time.
I think you really have to read this book.
I've tried. I was on a hammock in Nevada.
So you admit Existence and Being is a
Agnes.
book that you tried to read.
It's
No, I'm
called
talking
Being
about-
Agnes. It's Being and Time.
Yeah. So I tried reading it, but I didn't get that far into it. I didn't commit to really understanding all this trying to. But you know, to get to Heidegger, you got to go through. I've read all of Spengler, but he's not well respected anymore. No, isn't it time in becoming? It's not time in being. It's time in becoming.
No,
being
it's
and time.
existence and being. You
No.
motherfuckers.
It's being
Was
and
she right?
time. It's the name of his
One of
book.
them's one of them has the word becoming. And he only right.
Yeah, I'll be through. Yeah, I'm on another quick drive. You want to talk some more about stuff we talked about with Jack, or are you in the middle of a heated debate?
I posted.
Well, no, we're
link.
talking about continental
Yeah.
philosophy right now.
It's existence.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
bullshit.
And they can't get a major work. They can't even get the title correct.
I think
It's like
his
embarrassing.
concept was das. I think Heidegger's concept was called like Dasein or something. Care and
Dasein.
it's too much
Yes.
for me.
I
would have to devote-
It's just proprietary language. A lot of philosophers do that.
Right, and all the continentals build their own languages, and I can't deal with it. The analytic is
All
better.
right, all right,
analytic is-
all right.
yeah.
So we agree
It
that
says the Thomist. This is a Thomist saying that. You can't deal with
Well,
with proprietary
well-
language. A Thomist.
Yeah, but the Thomist came first, and
You
they
pieces
created-
of shit. I fucking found it. It's existence and being. Like I said, fucking read it.
I'm glad you're right.
such a feisty little
You
lady.
guys piss me
anyway,
off so
but
fucking
just-
much.
You know,
I'm
you sound
sorry. I
Heidegger.
just have to reply to Brenda before you get it on me, Dutch David. The Thomists, the Thomists came first, and they appropriated the entire, the Aristotelian and Neoplatonic tradition. So they didn't have proprietary terminology. That was the terminology, and they kind of fell into obscurity for a number of years for financial reasons during the Renaissance, and then these idiots like Hume and Descartes came around and just screwed philosophy up for 400 years. But anyway, go ahead, Dutch.
Yeah, I don't know if Brenda wants to respond to that. I don't want to cut Brenda off. That would be rude.
Well, it didn't really seem very substantial. The problem is with the scholastics and Thomism is it's just not a metaphysics that really resembles the world anymore.
Shut up!
We have
Shut the fuck up! Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
fine. Goodbye.
I don't know what
No,
you mean.